The first and most common filter that you'll likely set up with your Google Analytics account is a predefined filter to remove the traffic that originates from your office. You'll start by selecting filters from the view that you'd like to apply this to. I always start with a test view, verify it works, and then I move it to the correct view. From here, I'll select Add Filter, and then we'll simply make sure that we've selected Create New Filter, and then we'll give this a name. Predefine is selected by default, and then you'll have options under filter type to exclude or include only. We'll start by selecting Exclude, and from the source or destination, you have 4 options. In this case, we're excluding all traffic from the IP address. ISP domain would be if you are at a large institution and your company acts as its own internet service provider. Then we can select the expression. In this case, we don't have to write our own regular expression. Google is helping us do this through the predefined filter. So we can choose whether we want an IP address that's equal, that begins with, that ends with, or that contains. If we wanted to do a range, we would simply select that begins with, and we could do something like this. Then any IP address that started with these 3 points would be included. If you only had one IP address, you could make it equal to and select the IP address of your office. Now, I'm using a generic IP address here. You'd have to go and identify the exact IP or the exact IP range that you're using. Now, if you have a fairly complicated setup, for example, perhaps your IP addresses do not follow a predefined pattern, then you have the option of either adding multiple exclude filters or selecting custom and then using an exclude filter, selecting the IP address field, and then using a regular expression pattern to create that filter. Once you've set it up, simply choose Save. And just like that, we have our Exclude Office traffic filter using the predefined settings within Google Analytics.